All right, I'm up in the hills and it's AIB Monday. Like I said, you don't even have to be a member of AmRRON. This is for the Patriot Prepper community.
CQ AmRRON. AmRRON stands for American Readout Radio Operators Network and is a nationwide disaster preparedness network made up of Patriot-oriented radio operators. So AmRRON phonetically, Alpha, Mike, Romeo, Oscar, November. This is a directed net.
All right, I'm up in the hills and it's AIB Monday and it's just about ready to go out over the air. What does that mean? The AmRRON intelligence brief is produced every Monday morning. The AIB is put out on schedule at 2000 hours on the 20 meter band and 2030 hours every Monday on the 40 meter band. And then all of the NCSs distribute it throughout their nets over the following week. So I pulled over on the side of the road. It's a little gray out, looks like it could rain. Plus it's bright. I want to be able to video and show you how you can receive the AIB even if you're not a licensed ham operator. This is your Fox News update, your intelligence and news update in a grid down situation when there's no other source of news and information. So let's get set up. I am going to break out my hunting blind and get that set up right now. All right, let's do this. Okay, let me go over my setup that I'm using. By the way, I have a USB powered light hanging up here to give us a little bit of illumination. Love that thing, rechargeable USB-C. Pretty darn slick. Okay, I've got two stations that I'm going to be using today. This is the Malahit software defined radio receiver. Awesome. I got that from NC Scout from Brush Beater, and awesome investment. This little guy though, man, this was what, $70 when I bought it as a County Comms GP5, but now it's been replaced with the GP7. And what I didn't know when I got this was this little shortwave radio with single sideband is cheaper. It's a Texan. It's a knockoff. It's a repackaged Texan, and this well, it's the PL368 now. This is the replace the 365. So I've got Android apps. This is AndFLMSG. It won't receive FLAMP, but it will receive FL message. And if you install the custom forms, which I'll cover at a different time, then you'll receive, if you receive the signal, it'll decode. So this one, I'm just going to go audio using the microphone on the tablet. And this one I have piped in using a special cable that is made. See, it's got the 4 positions there. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's got 4 positions on that. That's what you need for piping in audio to a smartphone. Okay, but here's the real important part. Antennas. With the radio, it doesn't matter how much you spend. This is considerably more expensive than this one, but both of them are nothing but paperweights if you don't have a good antenna. And these right here for HF is about as close to no antenna as you can get. And this one's got a built-in antenna too, and it comes with a one that you can just clip onto this, but it also has a external antenna port right there. Literally, you've got to get wire in the air. Don't fuss around with trying to make HF work without getting wire in the air. And so I have 2 here today. I've got this roll-up HF antenna, and well, 2 of them. that are made specifically for shortwave radios. You can literally use speaker wire and just strip off the metal end, bare metal end, and stick it in that antenna, AM antenna port. Same thing with the Malahit. Any decent HF radio with single sideband will also have an external antenna jack. You can buy these and solder one on a piece of bare wire yourself, but you don't even need that. Just strip down to the bare copper and shove that bare wire down into that. You're not transmitting, so you don't have to worry about, you know, a center and a shield type of coax or anything. That's only if you're transmitting. Right now, we're just pulling to the side of the road. We're up in the mountains above the valley. We want to stay informed. We're grid down. There's no other source of news and information. So let's get these antennas hung up into a tree and get them up in the air and plugged in. On the Malahit, it doesn't have an external port like a 1/8 inch audio jack type. It's got the SMA. So what I'm going to do is put in this adapter here, 50 ohm coax adapter. So stand by. All right, now this is specifically an Android app, and you can get it from FLDigi SourceForge. I'll put links in the description of the video that you can go and download this .apk file. That's a Android app. So let's go ahead and open up AndFLMSG. I've already installed the AmRRON Custom Forms. Let's open that up, and there we are, terminal screen. Let's go over to our receive. All right, what we'll do is turn our radios on. We are in listening mode. The net's going to start in Contestia 4250, and if you have your RxID on, it will automatically switch modes when it detects the mode change. However, just in case it misses the mode change, I'm going to manually change the mode by clicking the previous mode and scrolling back down to MFSK32, which is where traffic is transmitted. So let's go back up here to Contestia 4250. You may notice, I'm at 7109.4. The AndFLMSG tends to receive, turn the waterfall on, tends to receive right at 1500 on the waterfall. And we transmit at 7110 at 900 on the waterfall. Okay, so that's the same place. You're transmitting on the same frequency. If you dial down to 7109.4, then you'll be at 1500 on the waterfall. Now this tends to adjust to where it's sensing the signal, so we'll see what it does. This one is going to be 7109.4. There we go, 7109.4. Upper sideband. You have to have upper sideband. So this is going to be using the microphone. We'll point the speaker toward the tablet when the time comes. It is 13:24 Pacific time right now, which means we're about 6 minutes away from the transmission. So to save battery, I'm going to go ahead and power this off. Plus, that way you don't have to listen to it. And then at 2030, we'll turn everything on, because the transmitting station will send in FLAMP. That is the FLAMP, which is error correction, so that you can authenticate it using the digitally signed file. But for those who don't have FLAMP capabilities, it's always transmitted in FLMSG right afterward. So even if you get some broken copy, you can still read the message, even if, because FLAMP, you got to have 100% or it won't read out. You get nothing if you don't get 100%. So for those who might have a less than optimal conditions where they are, maybe they don't get all of the message. Well, in FLMSG, even if you get a partial or broken, you can still read it. and you might not be able to authenticate it, but you can still stay informed. And right now, AndFLMSG does not have FLAMP receive capabilities. That's fine, that's good enough for us to pull over on the side of the road, up in the hills, in a down situation, tune in on schedule, get our news and information, pack up and move on. And you don't have to set up a tent to do this. I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. You can do this right in the cab of your vehicle. Just pull over, whip a wire out antenna and hang it on a tree that's next to you and tune in. So that's what we're going to do. We'll know. All right, let's go ahead and turn things on. We may not even be able to hear. Oh, very strong signal. Okay, look at your squelch. Your signal is that, oops. Your signal is way down there. Let's drop the squelch or we won't copy anything. All right, let's turn this on. Okay, let's switch both of us over to MFSK32. Oh, I hear that fading. So anyway, now we are getting 100% copy on this $96 shortwave radio, the Texan. And then on the Malahit, we are getting, let's brighten that up. There we go. 100% copy so far. Oh, nope, a little broken up. I might have to adjust the audio on this. I do need to adjust the receive gain on this, but I'm not going to mess with it while I'm in the middle of demonstrating. Actually, I have a better copy on the Texan PL368 right now. But that's because there's some gain adjustments that I need to do on this. It is receiving. I can read it clear as day. MS identified 200 plus instances of foreign adversaries using AI to create fake content on more than, anyway, a few misspelled words there, but it's coming through. This one's coming through with fewer errors on the copy. Both of them working beautifully. This is with the Android app, and that's just the speaker next to the microphone. This has the cable going from the audio outlet, the headphone jack, into the microphone in, so it should be having fewer errors, and it would be if I had that fine-tuned. But there you go. You don't have to be a licensed ham operator to use this free software, to download it, set it up. You don't need special equipment. All you need is a shortwave radio, which every Patriot should have anyway. And this just flat works. All right. Looks like we received it on both Android devices from two different radios on their own antennas. Okay, so there's all the raw data, and you can read it right there just like it is. However, something happened here. I don't know why, but let me swipe over, and there's our receive pane. There's our file. It didn't keep the file name. It renamed it Last Bad CRC RX receive. So press and hold to open a received file, and it opens it up in the form. And there it is. And by the way, that phone that I'm using doesn't even have a SIM card. It doesn't have a phone number. It's just basically being used as a tablet. But I wanted to bring an actual tablet because of the size, a little bit easier. So there's your raw data coming in that you received. We'll swipe over, and that's the field that it came in. And let's go to, this is our list of files. So let's go to last bad CRC _RX, just like on the other device. Not sure why it did that. You press and hold, and it pops open in the custom form if you have the custom forms loaded. So once again, and of course, this is a little easier to read being on a tablet. Let's turn it sideways. Make it more bigger. All right, so there's your news. Pretty cool. In a grid down situation, when there's no source of information or news coming from anybody, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of operators across the country that are passing this news and information along, practicing on a regular basis, so that they'll have the skills, the equipment, and everything's up to date. They can confidently receive and pass along intelligence, and not just from AmRRON National. You are the sensors out there. The radio operators report what they see, which will be invaluable in a down situation, which we've seen so many times in real world situations. So hopefully you liked that demonstration. You found it useful. So you too can stay informed with just a shortwave radio and a free app to download onto your Android device. You already have it, so take advantage of it. There are a lot of operators that are practicing their skills on a daily basis. Those are opportunities that you can take advantage of so you can get your comms up, because a shortwave radio and an Android app can keep you informed, but not if you don't practice. You will not have comms if you don't practice with it on a regular basis. Like I said, you don't even have to be a member of AmRRON. This is for the Patriot Prepper community. It just happens to be people dedicated that are members of AmRRON because they're committed to developing and honing the skills of emergency communications. So Fox News has technicians. Their job is to make sure that that signal goes out. You don't have to know anything about that, but you have to tune it in to go to the right website, right? Now it's Net Week this week, so the AIB will be put out over the nationally coordinated nets, plus all of the regional and local training nets over the following week. So if you miss it on a Monday, don't sweat it. It's put out during the day. Some people are working or you're tied up doing other things. Tune into an evening net and get the AIB then. There's no excuse for you to miss out. All right, this is John Jacob Schmidt. Get your comms up.
As ready, trained communicators, right up to the present time, radio hams have been busy every single minute. The ever-increasing group of radio amateurs who have equipped themselves at their own expense with two-way radio sets by amateurs who saw their opportunity to render a public service and paid off for Americans in trouble.